It's not often I complain about the heat in Scotland, but the past few days we've been blessed with a heat wave. I've been out on the road and I've been sweating. I spent time racing and training out in Spain in temperatures well over 30 degrees, and this is what I've learned from that experience. So if you've been riding out in the heat this summer, then here's my suggestion of 5 things you won't regret buying that will improve your experience next time you're out riding in the heat. Right, number 1 on the list, bigger water bottles. If you're still riding around with one of these tiny little water bottles, you've got one bottle cage on the bike because you think it's real cyclismo to ride around with one bottle cage. Maybe you've got your tools in the other bottle cage. You need to scrap all that. Riding with one bottle on the bike is ruining your cycling performance. No amount of weight saving is worth the hangover-like feeling you get the day after a hard day out on the bike where you haven't drank enough water.
Water.
I always aim to drink at least 500 mils of water per hour when I'm on the bike, and I double that if it's hot weather. So that means I'm drinking a whole one of these per hour out on the bike in hot weather conditions. For some reason, these bottles have become harder to come by. Your likes of Sigma Sports and Amazon, they will have them. They're usually a little bit more expensive. They can sometimes be out of stock, but I cannot stress this enough. Drinking enough water today on the bike is going to make tomorrow more enjoyable. It's going to allow you to get out on the bike again the next day. So if you're a weekend warrior and you want to get out Saturday, Sunday and the weather's looking good, get yourself a couple of these. Maybe even stop halfway round and fill up the bottles again. Drink more than you think you need and you'll stay hydrated, and it means you can get back out on the bike staying strong. Right, number 2 on the list, talking about hydration. What goes with water? Salt, electrolytes. We're all talking about hydration. In hot weather, hydration is king. Electrolytes are all the rage at the moment. You may have even seen an ad for them today, but it's not all marketing hype. Keeping yourself hydrated on those 1 litre per hour days is essential. When you're sweating that much, you're losing salt through your sweat. You need to be replacing it in order to stay hydrated. You can get privately done sweat tests where they monitor how much salt you're losing per hour, and you can look to replace that. Or you can do what I do, which is basically guesstimate it. Take a couple of these out on a ride. If you go drink mix, it's probably got electrolytes in it. That can substitute for it. And if your granddad's telling you that a banana has enough potassium to keep you hydrated in it, all I'd say to that is your granddad probably drank brandy during stage races, so I wouldn't trust his advice on hydration. Whilst out racing in Spain, I would consume grams of table salt at the end of each race, just because I was sweating that much. The other boys on the team would look at me a bit strange, but I woke up the next day feeling hydrated, and I can't say the same for some of them. Take it from me, getting the right amount of sodium in after a big day out on the bike is going to make a world of difference to how you feel the very next day and how you perform on the bike following. Number 3, everybody's favourite thing to waste their money on. Sunglasses, an essential summer accessory, all owned by the same company, but I'm here to tell you that they're an essential summer accessory for a different reason. And it's not protection from the sun. Protection from the sun is great, but I actually think there's something worse out there that can get into your eyes, and it's flies. This time of year, you go down the country lanes, you go down the back lanes, there's going to be swarms of flies all at head height, and they're going to be getting all in your eyes if you don't have sunglasses on.
Oh, my eyes, my eyes!
No one wants to experience this, so take it from me, get yourself a pair of sunglasses. Avoid the flies in the eyes. I had years where I wouldn't wear sunglasses because I couldn't find the right ones for my face. They'd always fog up. Nowadays they're all pretty good quality. You can get some pretty cheap ones online that won't fog up and you can keep them on. The ones you like are the ones you're going to wear, and the ones you wear are going to be the ones that keep flies out of your eyes, and that's what we all want here. Number 4, seed oils, petrochemicals. Is it going to disrupt your endocrine system? Who knows? That's why I buy my sun cream in Spain, because I can't read the ingredients list.
I didn't know you could read.
Now, all jokes aside, I am Scottish, and that means I've suffered one too many red tans in my life. As Trainer Road put it, sun cream might make you slower, but melanoma is definitely going to make you slower than that. There isn't really any excuse for it nowadays. You can get pretty high quality sun cream, pretty affordable. It's not that sticky, horrible stuff from your childhood that you really didn't want to put on. And yes, there probably is some thermal regulation disadvantage from wearing sun cream, but as I just said, getting melanoma is going to make you way slower than any level of thermal regulation. I would personally go for a spray bottle top like this rather than one of the aerosols that are popular these days. I just personally wouldn't want to risk having sun cream in my lungs. That doesn't seem like where the sun cream's for it. The sun's not going to get to my lungs, so I don't think I need to put sun cream in my lungs. If you're dead set at avoiding chemical sunscreen at all costs, there's always the option of mineral sun cream, but just know that that stuff's going to be thicker, it's going to leave a white cast, and it's probably going to be a bit sticky. The main takeaway is, if you're riding outside in the sun, the UV index is going to be higher than normal. You need to get that sun cream on, because nobody's fast if they're dealing with melanoma. Take it from the Australians, they'll tell you sun cream is no joke. So get some stuff you like, because just like the sunglasses, what you like is what you're going to wear, and what you're going to wear is what's going to keep you safe. Get some sun cream if you're riding outside and it's hot. Number 5, speaking of thermal regulation, GCN have probably shelled this one enough times that you now know what it is.
Why is he such a bad guy? He's obviously just a corporate shill.
It's a core body sensor. Now this little white plastic thing that breaks every time you put it on your heart rate strap, I know they have fixed that, they brought out a second one, but I'm not going to pay twice for the same thing. This little white thing here is a skin temperature sensor, which uses an algorithm to basically tell you what your internal temperature would be. Now I've used this to some success. I followed a full heat training protocol last year before I went out to Spain. That was a big temperature shift, going from 18 degrees Scottish summer to 42 degrees at the peak in Spain. It is the most expensive item on the list, and if I'm being honest, probably the least essential item on the list. But there is a specific use case where this can be very handy, and that is, as I said, if you're doing heat training. So many people nowadays want what the pros have, and the pros have heat training, so I must have heat training. If you're doing heat training and you don't have a core body sensor, you are basically shooting in the dark. I've tried some heat training with no core body sensor, and I just wake up the next day absolutely ruined. If you don't have a core body sensor, you're most likely overcooking yourself every day that you do it, and you're just ruining your training for the next few days. So any gain you are getting from the heat training is completely offset by the missed training sessions from just being absolutely ruined from the heat training. To the skeptics out there, yes, you're not going to pull over at the side of the race because you find out you're overheating, but it might impact how desperately you go for that extra water bottle at the side of the road. I know personally, when I was racing out in Spain, I'd look down at the Garmin, I'd see how hot I was getting, and I'd maybe backpedal a couple of times just to make sure I definitely got that water bottle from the feed zone, or go back to the car and get some ice if I could. And for the people who aren't racing, but you just like going away on your holidays somewhere sunny, I've been in Tenerife in November during a heat wave, 30 degrees. For those of you who haven't been to Tenerife, there is no shop beyond Villaflor to the very top. It's probably an hour and a half of climbing for most people from Villaflor to the top. And I've seen guys almost collapse at the side of the road with what definitely looks like heat stroke. And yes, getting one of these doesn't mean that a corner shop is going to pop up halfway up the mountain, but it does mean you might take your hydration a little bit more seriously next time you're out in hot weather. So I definitely recommend, if you have the means, going out and getting one of these, learning how to use it properly. If you learn to use it properly, you're also basically getting the benefits of an altitude camp at home, and you won't have to cook yourself and avoid training sessions for the next few days following a heat session. So that basically sums up the 5 essential things I'd go out and buy if I'm riding in hot weather this summer. If you feel like you've been suffering out in the heat, maybe these 5 things will help you enjoy the heat a little bit more. Obviously, being in Scotland, I don't experience extreme heat, but I do know beyond a certain temperature, it can become an unpleasant experience to be out riding the bike. And maybe these 5 things will help make it a little bit more enjoyable next time you're suffering from a heat wave that makes you not want to go out and ride the bike.